I just know that there's something dark in me. And I hide it. I certainly don't talk about it. But it's there. Always. This sort of dark passenger. And when he's driving, I feel alive. Half sick with the thrill of complete wrongness. I don't even fight him. I don't even want to.
He's all I've got.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcasts. My name is Alex, and today we have a special treat for you because it is a spoiler-free review of a movie I have been waiting to see called In a Violent Nature, which is in theaters May 31st exclusively. This is a movie that's been brought to you by IFC and Shudder, so it will be coming to Shudder at some point, but this is a slasher film in the theater. I repeat, a slasher film in the theater. Don't miss it. Don't know if I can be any more clear, can I? Probably not. Part of the reason I did my intro is that this is a very unique film in some ways. Like, it's not the most unique thing that's ever been done, but it is a unique spin on slashers in a way, while being wholly a slasher to the bone. So it's one of those things that basically there is a camera over the shoulder of the killer and you are kind of going on a dark passenger ride, get it? Like Dexter did when he was committing all these heinous acts. So you as the viewer are strapped in the passenger seat. Oh, good old Johnny boy is having a fun time with everybody else's guts. So yeah. What is this movie all about anyway? So there is a story to it, and, you know, honestly, I really just think you need to just go see the movie and kind of figure out the story as it goes on. But the gist is that there's sort of a old legend in this old town that there is this Johnny guy, and somehow he is awoken and carnage ensues. Personally, I think that's all you really need to know because the story sort of just unfolds before you and you sort of get to experience the story through all the different kills and all the different characters that you watch on the screen. I think that's a much better way to enjoy the film personally, and I think you will appreciate that upon going in. So, highly recommend that before you look up the synopsis online. Let's just say it doesn't shy away from being kind of like a Jason movie in a lot of ways. Let's face it, you know, maybe it wasn't borrowing directly from it, but man, is it pretty freaking close. And yeah, I'm pretty okay with that. This is a movie that was by director Chris Nash, who is a Canadian director, special effects makeup artist, and a writer. He does pretty much everything, obviously, but he has worked on many different films, including Z is for Zygote, the last one of ABC's of Death 2. He wrote and directed, and he also worked on the makeup effects of Life Changer, Psycho Goreman, another Canadian project, by the way, Stephen Kostanski. Plus, he even acted as the transformed Sarah in The Void, speaking of Kostanski, which is this pretty young thing right here. Hot. So yeah, this is a movie that is extremely brutal. There is a lot of really awesome kills in this movie. It is a very different movie in the sense that you're not following all these characters all the time. So really you're behind the killer for most of the movie. They do kind of shy away from him in some moments of the film to kind of gets some elements of the story out, but it feels very much like almost like a found footage movie, as if someone was following the dude with a fucking camera. But the camera kind of goes off and does its own thing with some of the characters around a campfire, in a car sometimes. It kind of does some different things that you wouldn't really expect, but it also just kind of focuses solely on the kills. Now, one thing that I think is going to make people happy is obviously the kills in this movie. And man, are they pretty inventive and absolutely pretty brutal. Like, I mean, this is some pretty brutal stuff. Nothing that I felt like I needed to shy away from like too much, you know, it wasn't like so disturbing, but it definitely does not hold its punches back when it's destroying some human being. Let's just put it that way. However, these blank spots in between, nothing really being said. You'll sometimes hear somebody talking in the background as this killer is approaching and catch some of the dialogue that's going on. And he just kind of beelines right to him and does his business. Now, the funny thing is, I don't remember there being that much music, although I know there was. This was, of course, shot in Ontario, Canada, in the bush, in the forest, essentially. So they were kind of going for sort of the natural environment. So if there was a soundtrack, it was very quiet, very ambient, and nothing too present in the mix. It was mostly focusing on the just natural elements of this slasher movie. But for a lot of people, this is just going to be a very different kind of slasher film, and they're either going to love it or just kind of be like, I feels a little empty. And me personally, it's like I had to kind of rewatch this a couple of times, especially because the end of the movie does something a little different that I think some people might be not happy about. All of the practical effects and all of the kills and everything that's involved in this movie is pretty amazing, and it's done in such a way that it's not trying to like spice it up with all this ridiculous crap or trying to hip it up and trying to make it cool. You know, it's like, hey, let's just focus on what a slasher is, and we'll add a little couple elements in there to kind of make it something different. But yeah, I enjoyed it a hell of a lot. It's definitely one that I'll rewatch again. The scoring on this is going to be a little difficult, and it's going to be all over the map probably for some people. Some people are definitely going to just love this film, specifically because they just wanted a slasher with some kills and return to form. But this does add that little extra element of stuff in there that is a little different to kind of keep it fresh. But it is very much a homage with some pretty extravagant kills. One that I was just kind of like, wow, this is the scene that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend.
Some people started saying,
okay, I'll stop. Anyway, so I would give this one like a 7.5 or an 8. I'm like leaning towards an 8, but there's like a piece of me that is just a little conflicted with what I saw. And it's going to take a few watches for me to really kind of nail it down, but I guarantee you this is going to be more in the yes category than the nay category. So for me, I'm definitely picking this motherfather up. But for now, I say you should go to the theater and check it out if you are a slasher fan and you like gore. I think you should check it out. Although there is going to be some people that may have some issue with how they did this movie, and there's like long pauses and things, because it is a very original movie in that regard. It may throw a couple people off the scent, so to speak, but it's what I'd like to call a blue-collared slasher, where it just gets down to business and does what it needs to do. But they're calling it an ambient slasher, which I don't really understand. Ambient, because if it's ambient, there are some large spikes of violence in this movie that you know, so it's kind of breaking that ambiance. But yeah, there definitely is kind of an ambiance in between, so I can see why it's called ambient, but I don't know. Just go see it, check it out. When's the last time you saw a slasher? You know, come on, there's not that many that are out there. You're gonna go see it. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much, IFC and Shudder, for letting me watch this. I really greatly appreciate it. Definitely enjoyed my time watching it a couple of times now, and I suggest you do the same. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Please leave what you think in the comment section down below. Are you excited for this movie? Do you care if there's like some heavy story or not? Do you want to get down to business like this blue collar slasher? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.